as semi-pseudo soft rock goes, you are not getting much better than Outfield. Dori, I will fight anyone in the streets that does not feel energized, pumped up after starting that 80s show with that song. How are you feeling, Dori?
Energized, pumped up. I don't want to fight you.
Good. You're already fighting. Dori says, oh no, I'm going to be late. I'm fighting with Mike Tyson, Michael Jackson. Who are you fighting with? No, she's just fighting with her microphone. Oh, damn it.
Which Mike would I prefer to fight with of all of those? I want to fight with Mike Tyson because I think it would be quite fun to make fun of his speech impediment.
Oh, you see, Dori, you can't be doing that. You can't be
sorry.
You can't be saying things.
I'm cancelling myself.
Cancel yourself,
Done.
Dori. Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it. Tirade against Dori. A Tyson tirade. How dare she? No, Mike Tyson's done some bad things.
But I love Mike. I do.
We love all the 80s Mikes. Mike Jackson, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, Michael J. Fox.
We can't love Michael Jackson. We can't. Just don't go there. There have to be limits to this.
So you're not one of those people that can separate the artist from the art.
I'm not a big fan of the music in the first place, so it's easy.
Charlatan. But anyway, a Michael we did mention there. So something's been happening on Twitter. There's a lot been happening on Twitter, but specifically 80s related. So I say to Dori a few weeks ago, Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future, of course, Doc Brown, his Instagram and his social media is wild. Okay, it's really strange. So Dori and I both follow him on Instagram and on Twitter, and he starts posting up these very cryptic tweets saying, "Is it time?" tagging Michael J. Fox. "It's almost time," tagging Michael J. Fox. On one of the Back to the Future days, he's now made mention. It's like, what is he up to? And then, now, Dori, I don't know about you, but it's almost Black Friday. It's time to put together, what do I want for Christmas? You're going, what should I subtly start? I mean, do you share a computer? Or actually, if you're on the same Wi-Fi with your family, I mean, if you go searching for something, it'll show up on their internet search, right? So you subtly start searching stuff.
We're not big on like presents. We're kind of open with presents around each other in the family. It's very easy.
Okay.
It's like I get told by my child what to buy for Christmas because they are a teenager.
That's a child, yeah.
So it's like, it's easy.
Okay. So no, I'm very subtle. Because I'm one of those guys, oh no, don't buy me anything. I've got more than I need, but there's stuff I want. So I'll like...
be sneaky.
You have to be sneaky. So what is Christopher Lloyd up to? Back to the Future .shop. Launched it with Michael J. Fox. We saw the two of them together the other day at Comic-Con. And obviously, so they're not going to make a new movie together because Michael J. Fox, I don't think, could. And I don't want another Back to the Future movie. I think we're done. That is closed. The perfect movie series and the perfect movie, Back to the Future 2. The collaboration is for the fans. We kept hearing they wanted more options to celebrate their Back to the Future devotion. And we thought these items were perfect. Enjoy it. Heavy. Michael J. Fox. They have launched a Back to the Future merch store. And I want everything, Dori. I want everything.
You're not being subtle at all about your Christmas list.
No, I'm not. And
like, here it is. Everybody buy me the stuff.
Oh, here it is, Dori. It is. We're going to post this link up. It'll be, this is not affiliate, although I think we should have an affiliate link that every time someone buys something off the store, we get a third of a US cent. Firstly, the website is phenomenal. As it loads, there's this amazing Back to the Future graphic that is loading. It's just phenomenal. It's kind of like future retro. And then there are t-shirts. So there's classic t-shirts with the movie poster. You can buy Marty McFly's gilet, the red one that he wears, and it's kind of autographed, monogrammed. So that's...
Hang on, it is the real one. It's not like
No.
the one he literally wore.
It's a copy of the one he wore, and then on it is like his signature, like embroidered, not monogram, embroidered into it. Oh no, this is... So there's that. There's loads of t-shirts. There's like quotes from the movie, Nobody Calls Me Chicken, because we know you want to trigger Michael J. You want to trigger Marty McFly, call him chicken. then he's doing everything. There's like a silhouette of him playing at under the enchantment dance, under the sea enchantment, and there is a mug, Dori. There's a Back to the Future Marty McFly mug, probably the most affordable thing at $25. Oh, there's Doc Brown t-shirt,
I love the
121
poses
gigawatts.
because there's like pictures of them posing in the t-shirts, and I love especially Christopher Lloyd's poses.
He's bonkers.
They're very cool.
He's bonkers. So there are hoodies, there are it's predominantly t-shirts actually, and a mug. But
they're all very cool though. The shirts are all so cool, I have to say.
These are very, very cool. There's a red.
So I wonder why now.
Oh, because it's time, Dori. It's time.
It's out of time, actually.
Yeah. Why not now? Why not now? If anything.
I suppose, yeah. I'm just wondering if it's like, oh, we need money. How can we make money? Or if it's someone came to them with this idea and they went, sure, why not?
There is no way these two need money. There is no way. I mean, even if it's just from Back to the Future royalties, but there is no way these two need money. I think they're just doing it for the fans. Look, at $30 a t-shirt, I mean, they are making money.
Yes.
But let's not be cynical. Let's just go, you know what, guys? It is a worldwide recession. Nobody has money. But for a Back to the Future t-shirt with Marty McFly saying, don't call me chicken, I will be cashing in some pensions. So just make a note, Dori. I know it's also your birthday soon. So actually, if there's anything here, just, it's worth mentioning.
Oh, you know me. I'd rather have the John Hughes tape collection for my birthday.
Yeah. And a working...
If only I had somewhere to play tapes.
Exactly. A working cassette player. Okay, so we're buying all of that.
Yes, that would be part of it.
We're not going to...
very cool stuff.
It is very nice stuff. We're not going to speak our normal amount of shit up front. We're going to get into movies very quickly because we have some news. We've got a guest joining us who's got some news. So we're going to get into our movies pretty quickly. Dori, what movie recommendation do you have for us this week?
Oh, calling it a recommendation is a stretch. But... the worst part is I loved it when I watched it in the 80s. Loved it. So I was excited to watch it again. And then I was like, why did I do that? Because it's not as good as I remember. But the reason I watched this movie is because, remember last week we spoke about the Weird Al Yankovic parody film. And I thought, there's a movie that this is reminding me of. And then there was also a meme that your cousin Louis I'm going to say our cousin because I feel like he's my cousin as well. Our cousin Louis posted on Facebook. He's
everyone's cousin. He
is the cousin.
He's like cousin. It's not my cousin Vinny around here. He's everyone's cousin.
Yes. Our cousin Louis posted a meme with this guy a few weeks ago and like triggered my memory about him as well. And I was like, oh my God, that is a name I have not heard for decades. And I tracked down the movie because there is really only one movie.
Oh, yes.
And I watched it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I can only imagine it's going to be phenomenal.
This is definitely a movie that you would do as opposed to me. It's weird that I'm doing this movie. It's way more your kind of thing.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to put you out of your misery. I'm talking about Young Einstein with Yahoo Serious.
No ways. That is definitely not a you movie.
Right? Except I loved it when I saw it on the big screen in the 80s.
Oh my
I really did.
God.
Okay. Confession, I loved it because he's hot. He's hot, okay? There's even with the Einstein hair, he is hot.
Are Yahoo serious? Are you being serious? Are Yahoo being serious?
I'm Yahoo serious. In fact, Paulo, I'm going to send you a link to show you that he is still hot. Like, it's actually amazing how well he's aged. These pictures are from 2 years ago when he was 67. Yahoo Serious is 69 years old. Think about that for a second.
He's like Carrot Top or Pee Wee Herman that you never actually consider to get old. You know, like seeing Pee Wee Herman as old is like he is always creepy. But yeah.
Have a look at the link that I've just put in the notes.
Yeah.
Click on that and see what a 67-year-old Yahoo Serious looked like. I will post the link on our Facebook page. Because I'm impressed.
I get it.
I'm impressed that no, he's aged very well.
Yeah, I can see it.
But that's besides the point. Let's talk about the movie. The movie is an imagining of what Einstein's life would have been like when he was younger if he were Tasmanian. It's completely ridiculous. But again, that is actually what makes it a better movie than the Weird Al movie. Because remember what I said last week about the Weird Al movie? It wasn't silly enough. This one is just silly to the max. And that's kind of what makes it, I suppose, enduring. But like I said, I didn't enjoy it as much as I remembered to have enjoyed it.
I have such vague memories of this movie. And I somehow... And I know I would have definitely watched it at our cousin Louis's house.
Oh,
because
of course.
He had family in Australia, and he would go to Australia a lot and come back with all the stuff that was cool there. Right.
Yeah.
Kevin Bloody Wilson, and I can remember the first Simpsons that I saw, and he had Andre Agassi's Nike. So like he had a Simpsons T-shirt, and I'm pretty sure he would have come back from Australia with us. Did young Einstein in the stay in a whorehouse? I somehow remember him living.
Yes.
Okay.
He did. It said hotel, but it was literally a whorehouse.
Yes.
And yes, he was living with a bunch of let's be politically correct, sex workers.
Is that what we call them now
in the movie? We call them sex workers.
But
I have to tell you, I mean, there is so much from this movie that is just, oh my God, cancelable today. Just cancel. Like, there's just too much stuff that it's like, oh my God, no. Like, that would never happen today. But it's great. When I say it's great, it's like, it's entertaining. It really is entertaining. And it's actually quite, there are moments that are really, really clever, and there are moments that are quite political, actually, because it's all about basically, what happens if the recipe for the atomic bomb gets into the wrong hands kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's basically what the crux of the story is. But it's really funny because, I mean, in the movie, the only reason he splits the atom is to put bubbles in beer. That's the whole point, is to make bubbles in beer.
Yes.
And, like, it's so silly, you know? There's a scene with kittens, which was almost going to be traumatic, but turns out not to be traumatic.
Okay.
I just want to read you a few factoids about the movie. It is worth watching. You do have to find it. It does not exist on YouTube. You have to find it. It's easy to find. Called Young Einstein, just a reminder. And this was like pretty much his only film that did anything. He did make a couple of films afterwards, but they were complete flops. And I think he basically just faded into obscurity after that, really.
Well, the latest story I can actually see from him, because I have honestly, if we're playing that game, an 80s person you haven't thought of in a while.
When did you last think of?
Oh my God.
Exactly.
So here's a story from him. In July 2020, he was evicted from his Sydney rental property and ordered to pay $15,000 in rent to the landlords. He stated that he was unable to pay due to the impact of COVID, but was unable to substantiate his claim.
I think it's believable, because what has he been doing?
What has he been doing? In 2000, he sued the search engine Yahoo for trademark infringement.
I love that story.
That's not going to work. And he was born Greg
real name is
Gomez Pede.
Yeah, his real name's so boring.
And he was married to a lady called Lulu Pincus. So, Greg Pede.
Yahoo and Lulu.
Yeah, suing. But look, he still looks good for his age. Probably not that stable. I don't know. You know what?
So listen to this.
One last thing. Yahoo Serious falls into the category of the sorts of people that we'd be able to get interviews with. That's the kind of... That's where we'd land.
I'm on it. I'm literally on it, because I actually am keen. I'm really keen. Yeah, why not? Let's bring him back.
He falls into that.
Yeah. So the film was created on an extremely low budget. He had to sell his car. He borrowed cameras, and his mother cooked for the crew.
So it's his movie.
It is literally his movie.
Wow.
In all, he wrote it, he directed it, I don't know if he directed it, but he wrote it, he produced it. It's his movie.
Okay.
So yeah. And then I loved this, which was when they give you the reaction, the critical response to the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, it didn't do well in the States. It actually did relatively well in Australia. It became the 5th biggest opening in Australian film history behind Crocodile Dundee, Crocodile Dundee 2, Rocky 4, and Fatal Attraction. So it didn't do badly there at all.
Okay.
And I mean, it's very Australian. Like it's very Australian film.
It is. So it's one of those films, if you do not get Australian films and TV shows, because there are some gems, but there are some stinkers, right? But if you don't get Australian shows at all, just avoid, because it's a very specific sense of humor. So you'll find nothing funny in it. But if you do, you'll enjoy it.
And also, if you like obscure Australian music, you'll love the soundtrack.
Oh,
it's a really cool soundtrack. I mean, the most well-known band on the soundtrack is Icehouse, which I'm sure you remember. Actually, I mean, I remember the song very well from the movie. But I mean, I actually have the soundtrack in front of me. And there's some I liked all the songs, actually. But bands that I've never really heard of. So there is a song called Yahoo Serious and Lulu, which I'm thinking now, is Lulu?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if she's the one who was in the movie with him, now that I think about it.
Well, and
then he ended up marrying her?
If his mother cooked for the cast. I mean,
my God. I have to now check this. Hold on. Now I'm behind on my factoids. No, it's not her. Okay. She is in the movie, but not as Marie Curie, who is his love interest in the movie.
Okay.
She's in the movie as the blonde.
Okay.
I'm assuming she's one of the sex workers. I think she's one of the sex workers. So that's his wife. But on the soundtrack, there's songs by, and I don't know these bands. The Saints, Pig, The Models, The Stems, The Lime Spiders. These are all obscure Australian bands. But the soundtrack's really good. Like, it's really good. So, yeah. I guess it is a recommendation. Turned into one. Okay, there we go. Go watch Young Einstein.
Yes, watch it.
And it came out in 1988.
Only if you get South African humor. I mean, Australian humor. Only watch it if you get Australian.
Thing, really.
Well, it's so weird. Australians and South Africans got such a big rivalry, but it's like we're the same people. There's a similarity for some of us. So that's a good movie, Dori. My God, Yahoo Serious. I
stole it from you. That is so a you movie.
God,
I stole it.
I've slipped up this week. Dori, I said to you, I'm a little frazzled this week. And that is poor on me. I mean, I had a kind of like a moment last week with my movie from last week, Hot to Trot, and I was like, that was bad. That was, I mean, there is shit movies, but that was really bad. And no, it wasn't, Dori. They intimated that there was an animal orgy. It wasn't that bad. The horse had a blob doll.
I'm speechless.
The horse had a blob doll, Dori. I take it back. That was a movie last week, Hot to Trot, with Bobcat Goldthwait and a horse voiced by John Candy. Dori, you know what? Your movie and my movie falls into something that I was reading about this week they call the VHS classics, right? VHS store classics of movies that everybody would rent just because they were there. I'm in a video shop. If the movie I want isn't here, I'm not going to leave empty-handed. I'm going to take something, right? That's why there's all these movies that we all watch just because, oh, well, I'm here. It's not like now we just scroll through. There's so much shit on Netflix, so much shit. I don't watch it because I'm not going to, whatever. It's disposable. But it's like, well, I've got on my bicycle. I've rode down here. I've got like 3 movies left on my contract for this month. If I don't take, I remember that. It was so traumatic, Dori.
Yeah.
So traumatic.
Yeah. So much anxiety for that kind of thing. Exactly.
I know. It was just such what if I can't find my movie and it's not here? And okay. So
if we don't get to the video shop early enough, all the good movies are gone.
Oh, because
never mind that. Like then only Betamax is left, and we didn't have Betamax. And then what?
No, we were living in Elon Musk times. We had the dual. We had the dual. Oh,
we had both.
But it was a lot. It was a lot of trauma, a lot of decisions to make. The new movies always came out on a Friday. So you just had to be there. Like they came out afternoon. Like if you weren't there, Terminator was gone. Oh, and then there was this other thing that I was thinking about the other day, right? So you're an only child, and my best friend was an only child. So what happens when you go to a video store as kids, and there were 3 of us, your parents go and choose a movie, and it's normally some saucy movie because parents want to watch saucy movies, who knows. And then romantic movies, but 80s movies, romantic, yes. They're basically porn, right? So there's no such thing as a romantic movie. Romantic comedies is all porn. But now as kids, you get to choose your movie, right? And you now have to rotate. You got to wait for your turn because you now only get to choose me every 3 times, right? So that week that like Terminator comes out, I'm like, oh God, it's not my turn. I'm like in the middle. It's 2 weeks. Like everyone's going to tell me about Terminator.
Do you try and swap? Do you try and swap with whoever's turn it is? You're like,
no,
I'll swap with you.
Because your sister's like, no, it's Care Bear's movie. Like, this is what I want.
Oh, no.
Because they're having their moment, right? But this is where having an only child best friend, because he always gets his choice. So you know the key ones. Oh, Terminator. That week I got to go. I got to be at his house this Saturday. Because it's on my turn, right? This is traumatic. People will know. This is what happens, right? So anyway, with my movie this week, that didn't happen. This was in the leftovers. This was the movie usually behind the door at my video store. The door that opened covered these movies. It was one of those, right? So it's I'm gonna play you the trailer. Take a listen to this. This is high fidelity 80s.
I was just wondering if you're doing anything Saturday night.
No, I don't think so.
Would you like to go out with me?
No.
Jonathan Moore is a young man with a problem.
You are without a doubt the biggest animal I have ever seen in my entire life.
Does that mean no?
He goes to Paris on vacation.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
He meets a mysterious woman.
I like virgins.
You do?
In an even more mysterious line of work.
What are you, a spy?
Yes, I am a spy.
He follows her to Berlin.
Halt!
Now the CIA is after him. The Russians are trying to kill him.
Russians?
He's having the vacation of a lifetime, if he lives.
Gotcha! Don't be surprised! Gotcha!
You get it.
Is it called Gotcha?
It's called Gotcha. That song's great though. I love that. That is a fantastic song. Back in the heyday of 80s movies where they had a movie song that went along with the name of the movie. So it stars Anthony Edwards, right? From Revenge of the Nerds, Top Gun, ER, very young. This is after he's now made Revenge of the Nerds. So they're banking on it. They're going, okay, this dude, he could be the breakthrough, but they released it like around about the same time as Back to the Future. So like people's attention was just there. The story goes, he's a college student. They play this stupid game called Gotcha where each person on campus, you're assigned a person that you need to assassinate with a paintball gun. So they go around and that's just this game. That's just the context, the subtext of this movie. This is what everyone does, right? So he lucks out with the ladies, can't get it right. His friend Manolo, who's like stud Spanish, gets all the women. They decide, let's go to Paris. We'll have a little bit of a vacation and we'll go skirts chasing, as his father says. Basically, as they get off the plane, he meets this super attractive woman, Linda Fiorentino. She's one of those that, do you know her? Do you know her?
I do.
Yeah.
I do know her, yes.
Yeah. So she was like, unfortunately, really good actress, but in the 80s, she was just the body. She was just the object of people's erections. That was her role in the 80s, right? So she now seduces him and she's a spy. And now she gets him involved in this whole world of espionage. And people now think, oh, well, he's a spy. And then shenanigans, Dori, 80s shenanigans.
Russian 80s shenanigans.
Russian 80s shenanigans.
Specifically.
And, obviously because he can shoot a paintball gun, there's that whole thing, and that kind of comes into it, but it's not very clever. That's pretty much about it. That's pretty much about it. Box
Don't have
office.
anything else to say about
it. There's one funny scene where now he's crossing from East Berlin to West Berlin. That's where, now you know where this movie was set. And like kind of as he steps into West Berlin over the like kind of border line, he goes, "Am I officially out of East Berlin now?" And the like military policeman says, "Yes, you are." It just turns around, like flips the bird to East Berlin. Turns around and walks away. I mean, yeah, pretty 80s stuff. It's hugely forgettable. You will not remember it at all, but it's
I think I remember seeing it on the shelf in the video shop, but I don't know if I ever watched it.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't have. They even released hoping that it'd be bigger than this, a Nintendo video game called Gotcha. I mean, nothing in the movie was involved. It's just this concept of finding people and then shooting them with a paintball gun. That was kind of was the game. And, thankfully for Anthony Edwards, he went on to bigger things.
Luckily
for him. And it plays.
It could have been the end of his career.
Exactly, and it plays into all those 80s stereotypes. They go to Germany. There's lots of punks. Those sorts of things are happening the whole time, and it's hugely forgettable. You will watch it and then forget about it. But here's the plus side, Dori. So a few weeks ago we've been speaking about this playlist we found on YouTube of all these 80s movies. I found, and then when you first found it, there were a lot of movies, and then a week later, there were very few. They've moved it.
Yes.
They've moved it to another place. I assume they keep moving it till they get taken down. And now there's a whole lot of movies, and this is one of them. So we're going to put that link up. And then I'm starting to suspect that we're the reason, because we're driving so much popularity that we're like putting them on the radar. It's supposed to be like the subterfuge thing. And YouTube's going, no, there's a lot of traffic happening suddenly every Saturday morning, kind of, Friday evening. I think it's us. I think we've let the cat out the bag.
It's us with our hundreds of thousands of listeners.
Yeah.
Stop it,
yeah,
listeners.
Stop it. Stop it, listeners. Stop going. So, wow. That's a Yahoo Serious movie this week. That's like a Yahoo Serious movie is like Finding a Unicorn. Young Einstein. And then Gotcha. It's a really light-hearted week this week, Dori. That's
very light. I'm going to have to come back with a serious RT movie with subtitles next week to make up for it.
Don't do it.
Maybe not subtitles, but I do have a movie in mind.
Oh. How many male? How much full male nudity is?
So much you can't even count.
So much. Wow. Okay. Dori's coming back with the big dongs and the big guns. Dori, I don't think we're alone now.
Amazing.
I felt a disturbance in the force. Big news on that 80s show. He has joined us. They call him the Celeb Savant. He used to be just an ordinary chart savant.
Our own little chart savant, but he has broken out.
Oh, my word. Interviewing potential Oscar-nominated directors, comedians' wives saying it's the best interview they've ever done. He's interviewing boy bands, and he's getting the one side of the story. Boy bands break up. He gets the stories. He gets the scoop. His name is the Celeb Savant. The mere mortals, we can only say his Earth name. His name is Barrett. Welcome to the 80 Show, Barrett.
Hello, Paulo and Dori.
So, Barrett.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
We bring you on. Barrett, one thing, Dori, you cannot accuse Barrett of not being. It's a terrible sentence. Barrett is a very persistent person. You must know this. And he set himself an objective last year, started, as he calls, reaching out. He started reaching out to one person in particular, and he breaks the news yesterday that it's finally happened. And Dori and I are very excited. So Barrett, from April last year, track the journey without revealing who you're talking to yet. Talk us through this process and this chase.
So on my spreadsheet of artists, which is now sitting at nearly 750 to 800, this artist, I think, is at number 3 or number 4. So I'm giving away a little bit, she was at near the top of the list. So I started reaching out, and she was supposed to release her latest album end of last year, and then it kept being postponed. So whenever I reached out to the manager, Ms. Elizabeth, and whenever I reached out to Elizabeth, I said to her, can we schedule the interview now? She's no, she's not doing interviews at the moment. The album's been postponed. It's not happening as yet. So I've been, I'm always busy on the charts, on the sites, on the getting the factoids, as we know. And I saw that her album is now being released the 25th. So that's next week or the week after. So I reached out to Elizabeth. I said, hey, what's up? It's me. Can we now do the interview? And it is now booked for Monday, evening our time, lunchtime, the artist time in America. So that's the story and the journey. So it's lasted from April last year through to yesterday. So it's Dori's always, for the guys who don't know, Dori's always telling me patience. Mm-hmm. Patience.
Indeed.
Patience is a virtue.
It was a lesson in patience.
Now,
yes.
I must say, Barrett went through the same process with Olivia Newton-John. Rest her souls.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And I was trying to get John Aniston from Days of Our Lives as well. So I was thinking, maybe I should stop doing this because it's leading to people dying.
You are literally killing them off.
Okay, so the artist who is interviewing on Monday, if you didn't get my clue up front, she is the ultimate 80s teen pop starlet. Barrett, she goes by one name. Does she even have a surname, yes. Barrett?
Well, she does, yes, but as an artist, she's known by just her first name.
And that first name is?
Do you know what her surname is, by the way?
Give her surname first. Give her surname first.
Darwish. Darwish. That's her surname.
Darwish. And her first name, Barrett, is?
Da-da-da-dum, bow, 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 bow. It is Tiffany.
Tiffany, I Think We're Alone Now, and some other songs. No,
Radio Romance. No, so many songs.
No, I know. So that is an amazing coup, Barrett. That I'm not Thomas Anders level of excited, but I am. That is phenomenally exciting. Well done on getting her. May Dori and I submit questions. Maybe if somebody's listening, they want to send questions to you to ask her. Can we do that?
You can. The thing is that I've been restricted to 15 minutes. I asked for longer, and Elizabeth said, no, can only do 15 minutes. So, yes, questions can be submitted, but I can't promise that we'll fit them in during the time restriction that I have with her.
Hey, listen.
My only question is, how does she feel about the whole TED thing? That's my only question.
Oh, the movie TED.
Yeah, the use of her in the movie TED, basically.
That's a very good question, Dori. And listen, we all know how this goes. They just say the 15 minutes to protect themselves. An hour and a half later, Barrett's WhatsApp friends. So, it's
especially because he is such a good interviewer, she won't want to leave.
Exactly. Elizabeth, we'll do this merry dance with you, but we all know. Just book off an hour. They book off an hour. They book off an hour. Come on.
But you know what the thing is? One of her songs, and I'm going to thank her for this, allowed me to realize of some trauma that I went through in childhood. So I didn't realize it going through in childhood and teenage years. And then I was listening to her song at the age of 25, and a ball dropped, and it helped me realize, oh my God, this happened to me as a child. So I'm going to thank her and tell her that story. I will dive deeper into it in the podcast because I'm quite comfortable in discussing it. I'm putting it out there that will be like, oh my God. And then we're so much chatting. And then, an hour later, we are.
Then she'll be messaging Elizabeth to say, cancel all my other interviews. Exactly. I only want to speak to this guy.
Exactly. Piers Morgan, what's he ever done? He's speaking to that tanned guy. I'm speaking to the Celeb Savant. No, well done, Barrett. So you see, that's why you get them, because Dori and I would get 12 minutes because questions. Oh shit, they asked about TED. Wrap this up. Oh, we got connectivity issues. I can't hear you. And start doing that. But I'm breaking up. Oh, I got to stop this. Right. That's why we'd get. But you see, you reveal yourself. You open up. Like I say, WhatsApp friends, and she will never be alone after that because she'll just Barrett the whole time. So well done.
Yeah,
That's a
we're
great
best
coup.
friends.
Where can people find it? When is it coming out? Please let us know. We want to put it in our feed so anyone listening to this can find it.
You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram, just those two platforms for the moment, at Celeb Savant. So that's CelebSavant for anyone who has spelling issues or problems. That's at Celeb Savant. It will, because it's around her new album, I'm going to push a couple of interviews out, and it will be coming out next week. As soon as the links are there, I'll share that through. And next week is two 80s artists. It'll be Tiffany and the Waterboys.
Or just think of the Celeb Savant and he will follow you. That's just how it works. It's Celeb Savant on social media, or just plug in Celeb Savant into Google and he's done it pretty well. You will find him. That's Tiffany. Or keep following that 80 Show essay and we will give you details when it's out. Thanks for joining us. And yes, Barrett, I hope you get more than your 15 minutes. But if you don't and it's running down time, ask about Ted. Ask. Just
I
ask.
will do so.
Okay. All right. Thanks for joining us, Barrett.
Thank you for having me.
That's a great coup, Dori.
I mean, I'm not a fan, but I'm excited anyway. Just because, it's Tiffany. I might not love the music, but holy moly, it's Tiffany. Like, come on.
I mean, she's one of the OGs. Ralph Macchio's got a book out, Dori. Did you know this?
No, I did not.
Totally passed me by. It's his memoirs called Waxing On.
Oh, God.
He's so full of puns. It's unreal. I admire him for that. So he's put this memoir out, and I've got to tell you, I'm going to get it. I'm getting it right. Because it's a lot about the 80s and him making movies, because that was the height of his fame. So I want to read an excerpt about this, and it just ties our whole show together, Dori, because you and I spend a lot of time putting the show together. We make sure that there are golden threads, and make sure you hear something in the beginning, it follows through. I mean, right? It's fully planned out. Listen to this. When did Karate Kid come out? 1983, right? Yeah. Right about that.
I don't know. I'm trusting you.
Yes. Okay, well, round about that. Anyway, in the fall of 1984, I had what you'd call an A-list meeting with a pair of Hollywood heavyweights. I was very excited about the opportunity. The Karate Kid was the talk of the town when I sat down with Steven Spielberg and Robert Zemeckis to discuss their new time traveler movie. Okay. The three of us met in a New York City hotel suite. It was not a reading audition, meaning I didn't have to perform a scene. It was just a conversation. They must have been thinking of me as a potential Marty McFly. Ralph Macchio as Marty McFly. Okay.
Okay.
The meeting. Hey.
Okay.
But
could have worked.
Could have worked. However, it was a very positive meeting, chatting, throwing ideas around. One of the things is the importance of the all-American quality of the characters was written in the script. The concern was that I had a New York accent that would need to be curbed, and I had a distinct East Coast ethnicity. Okay? So basically, he was not all-American enough. Too Italian, right? McFly was apple pie, and as I mentioned in chapter 3 of this book...
McFly was apple pie, I like it.
All right? I came up more cannoli.
Yeah.
From that point on, during the encounter, I did my best to try cover my New Yorkness and be optimistic, but kind of, as we know, didn't work out. He says he'd love to see, he did do a reading, and he said he'd love to see the scene, go back and find it, and find himself reading for the Marty McFly character. He says the funniest part about all of this is despite them wanting to have an all-American boy for Marty McFly, they end up... casting the very Canadian Michael J. Fox.
Oh, yes, of course. I didn't even realize that. Oh,
yes.
That's so funny.
That's it. So that is Ralph Macchio's memoirs, Waxing On. I'm going to get it. I'm on a flight this weekend, and I will download it. Yeah, they got it. There's an ebook. I'm getting it. Waxing On, The Karate Kid and Me, Ralph Macchio. And I'll let you know. I'll do some reading the story. I'll do some readings.
I mean, okay, apart from the Karate Kid and the Outsiders, what did Ralph Macchio do in the 80s specifically? Because we're not going to talk about Cobra Kai.
No, so he did those two, which were good, Dori. I mean, you can't knock it. I mean, they were staple
No. They were great.
movies.
They were great. I mean, probably the Karate Kid 1 was better than Karate Kid 3, but, you know.
He was in...
The Outsiders is great.
He was in My Cousin Vinny. So we thought he was going to transition.
Was he?
He was.
Okay.
We thought he was going to transition into the 90s, but that didn't quite work out. Through the 90s, he played a lot of parodies and caricatures of his Karate Kid character. And we thought he was done. And then he shows up as executive producer. Now he's making all the monies off Cobra Kai nostalgia. There's not only is there the Cobra Kai Netflix show, they're doing a new Karate Kid movie, okay, which he's producing. I don't really understand how it's going to be different to Cobra Kai. I got a little bit of a broken heart over
Is he going to be in it?
Probably. Because it's Karate Kid.
Okay, because I have given up Cobra Kai. I'm at least 1.5 seasons behind. At least.
Yeah. No, listen, you're not missing anything. You really aren't missing anything. Oh, and who can forget that Ralph Macchio was in Up the Academy, the Mad Magazine movie that was so bad.
Ah, of course, yes.
It was so bad. Mad Magazine wanted their name taken off it. That's how bad it was. Okay, let's not forget that he also showed up in a 2006 movie called The Beer League. So this is kind of where his career went without Karate Kid, right? So you know what? And good for him. He knows what he is. He knows what people want. He's the Karate Kid. But yeah, so in the Karate Kid movie, it says it will follow on from the events of the Karate Kid, telling the new stories. But I was like, but that's what Cobra Kai is. What are you going to do different? And then there's a Cobra Kai Broadway show. Cobra Kai / Karate Kid Broadway show. Yeah. And you know he's going to be in it because he did some Broadway. So you know he's going to be in it. But anyway, he's now an author. So I'm reading that book. And then...
You'll let us know if you learn anything amazing.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Either way. No, but it's cool. I mean, if that's one story that like makes this revelation, I reckon at that point, everyone who was hot was auditioning or being looked at for Back to the Future because they just knew this movie is going to be epic. Yeah. And like, I think every hot young actor was being like sought out, right?
Yeah. But Ralph never really he was not part of the Brat Pack. He just didn't quite make it in there.
He wasn't quite there. Oh, he tells a story. I saw a little excerpt with Rob Lowe. Got him a T-shirt that said "Do Not Disturb" because that's basically he would not partake in any of the fun of like any of the brat packishness and would just go to his hotel room and read and rehearse and get into character and had the "Do Not Disturb" on his door. So while the rest of them
and look where that got him.
You see,
look where that got him.
The rest of them were very much disturbing. They were disturbing everybody. Some with videotapes. You know, everybody was being disturbed except Ralph Macchio. So there's going to be stories like that, Dori. There's going to be stories. Do you know what Ron rolling is?
No.
Okay. I discovered this yesterday, right? And I think I'm going to partake in Ron rolling. You know Ronan Keating, right?
Not personally, but yes.
Okay, you know he is, right? So he's now on, I think he's on one of the biggest breakfast shows in London, if I'm not mistaken. He does.
Really?
Oh yes, no, he's massive. He's either between I think Magic and Capital, the two big radio stations in London. They go 1 and 2 like all the time. So he's the host, and he's on with Harriet Scott, Magic FM, and he's got this thing called Ron Rolling. Okay, this is the clip I found on Twitter. I want to play this for you because I think you're gonna love this because Christopher Lloyd asked, "Is it time?" And we've been asking, "Is it time?" Right?
Well, you have not been asking, "Is it time?" You've been saying, "I know it's time," but does everyone else know it's time?
Yes, for me, it's always time. Okay, it is always time. But I think Harriet and Ronan Keating it's not Ron rolling, it's Ro rolling. Take a listen as he explains it.
Yesterday, you rolled me with the Rick Astley song. We played Rick Astley, and then it turned into Wham! Last Christmas.
I admit, I admit we were a little bit early. I admit I left here yesterday, and a few people said to me, "I can't believe you played Christmas." So okay, I get it.
It's polarizing. It's like, of course, it's a gorgeous song.
I know.
It's the 15th of November.
I know. I just think everyone deserves and needs that hug and all. And okay,
so
I get
we're safe
it.
now. We're going to wait until it's
fine.
officially time to play Christmas songs.
But yeah, we'll take it easy.
Well, it's not going to be here because this is your own song, so you're not going to do it here.
Maybe we'll just hold out another few days or weeks or something.
Good. Come on. Good to know. Oh,
Tune.
I love this tune. You know I do. Hold on. Come on to your own.
Woo! Merry Christmas, everybody!
Stop it. Are we playing this in its entirety?
Maybe. Merry Christmas.
Oh, God, if you can't
good,
feel
right?
it, you just got to join her.
That sounded like it could have been the two of us, right?
I felt that. Like, I was going, these two are probably one of the best breakfast shows in the world. I don't know. I don't think we're that far off.
Relatable? Just a touch?
I mean, you could blind test and listen to both of us and go, I don't know which one is which. They're pretty
but
similar.
he has a lovely Irish accent,
My God, listen, even I go weak at the knees. I go to Ireland quite regularly. I go weak at the knees. I'll talk to bus drivers. I'll just talk to anyone. I just love that accent.
Yep.
But I definitely do not sound like Ronan Keating, and apparently that's the running gag. He keeps doing it, of lining up a song and breaking it into Last Christmas. I love that. That's high quality audio content. Oh, that is high quality.
Amazing.
But it does ask the question. It does ask the question. They played 15th of November. They played Last Christmas already. I can tell you one thing.
Here we are a few days later.
But I'll tell you, Last Christmas hasn't been played on any audio platform just yet, Dori, for this year. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's no radio stations, there's no online stations. Like, no one's playing it yet. We're asking, I don't know, Dori. We're asking about it. But anyway, I don't know what we're going to play to finish off today's show, right?
I think I know what we're going to play to finish off today.
But I don't know. I don't know what it could be.
You don't know because it's not listed on our show notes. Usually you say the name of the song, like on the show notes it says the Outfield Your Love at the top of the show notes. And on the bottom it says closing song, very mysteriously closing song, which is not like you.
Yeah.
So I think that what I have learned on today's show, before you even ask the question, is that you and Ronan Keating share a brain.
Now, talking about T-shirts that we want for Christmas. Everything you've heard on today's show, including details about the Celeb Savant interview with Tiffany, you can find on that 80s Show SA Facebook page. Dori, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching a terrible movie, actually a great movie, for our benefit. I don't know if it is time, but thanks for joining me, Dori. Goodbye.
Bye.